Hey there, Diecast family. How's everybody doing today? All right, so what do we got today to show you? All right, you may remember I did a restoration project on a Corgi Rolls Royce, and I have that up here to the right. And I promised you that when I got that completed, I was going to do a showcase video of both the Rolls Royces I have. And the one you see spinning on the turntable is actually the factory fresh one. Okay, that means it had no damage, came right out of the box, really nice. The one to the right here. This one was actually factory fresh from a box, but it had some damage on it. Okay, and I'm going to chronicle a little more about that. And you may have seen the, like I said, the restoration video I did on that, where I had it, disassembled, and I showed you it repainted, reassembled, and it looked pretty good. So we're going to get into this. You may have noticed that the car on the turntable wants to kind of roll around up there. That's because this is a Whizzwheels brand of Corgi. They have very free-rolling wheels, so it's kind of have a tendency to want to do that, wander back and forth. Okay. All right, let me tell you about how I came into these cars. All right, so what happened was, initially I ordered this one from an eBay seller. This was several months ago. Ordered this one from an eBay seller, and he's a guy I've dealt with before. He's got some nice stuff. And when I got it opened up, and I told you guys about what happened with the paint on the one door there, which is the door that's open, by the way, how there was some kind of sticky residue, and when I tried to remove it, it took all the paint with it, and the paint adhesion on that door was actually quite bad. So I brought it to the seller's attention. I really wasn't expecting him to do anything about it. I just wanted to let him know that, hey, that model, though it was in a box, it had a defect on it. And he felt so bad about that. He felt terrible. He even told me, he says, oh, do you want to send it back? And I said, maybe not altogether. Let me work on it a little bit. Maybe I can take it apart and I can restore it back. And he says, okay. He says, well, in the meantime, he says, I don't have another one, but I'm going to find you another one and send it to you. And it only took him about 3 weeks to do it, to find me another one and then send it to me. I thought that was really nice of him to do that. So, because like I said, he's a guy I've dealt with before. He runs a stellar little eBay seller store there. And he felt really bad. He felt like he had sent me a product that wasn't up to par and that even was slightly misrepresented. But I told him, I says, I don't even know if you really knew that stuff was on there. So I told him it wasn't like you were knowingly doing it. So anyway, so basically this is one of those 2-for-1 deals. I bought one, but got a second one for free. I don't know where he sourced the other one, but I'll tell you what, it's about as nice as this one was when I first got it open, except for the paint defect. All right, so we're going to get into these models. I'm going to show them off to you real quick. I'm going to show you, like I said, the factory fresh one first, and then we'll show you the restored one. They're basically equipped exactly the same. I just want you to see how especially the restored one came out and how it compares to the factory fresh one. So this is a 2-door Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, which has the coach builder of H.J. Mulliner Park Ward listed on the bottom. Here's the thing, okay, the Silver Shadow and the Corniche, they were regular production Rollses. The Corniche was always a 2-door. It came in either a fixed head coupe or a drop head coupe. That's how they call them, coupe or convertible. And the Rolls-Royce was usually always a 4-door sedan. Well, every so often, somebody who was a Rolls customer would come in, decided they really liked the look of the Silver Shadow better, but they wanted that in a 2-door. So what Rolls would do is send the components for a Silver Shadow out to H.J. Mulliner Park Ward, where they would do the coach work and make it into a 2-door car. Okay, one of the main differences between a Silver Shadow 2-door and a Corniche is that the Corniche has like this little nip in the waist right there, whereas you can see that one's pretty much just has like a character line that flows. That was really the main difference, okay? And there was a few other smaller differences as well that weren't as noteworthy. But that was kind of the main thing right there. But yeah, so we had 2-door Silver Shadow. This is a pretty nicely done model by Corgi. The Whizzwheels version is much smaller than the other mainline version that I have in the burgundy you've seen. This one here is actually a lot more detailed. So you'll notice it's got individual door panels. The seats flip as well. The steering wheel and column is actually made of metal. I noticed something interesting. I just realized this. Look at that. This one doesn't have a sticker on the dash. See, the one that I restored actually has a sticker on the dash that has instruments on it. So that's interesting. And you can tell by how clean that is, that it just was never included. Okay? So that means at some point they stopped doing that. All right? You see right there, it's got the little vent window with the door panel. Under hood, you can see some engine details there. The intake snorkel, you can see the top of the AC compressor, which, by the way, was sourced by GM. And you got a little trunk, of course. No, I didn't buy any little luggage for this one yet. So I'm going to button it up real quick here. It's got very nice paint. I mean, the paint is about as nice as it was on the other one before it got restored because, like I said, there was a major paint defect on there. One of the things I like about this model is it's got those jewel-like headlights on there. I thought that was a nice little touch. And, of course, you got the fast-rolling whiz wheels with the suspension, which I've already shown you on the other model that I had disassembled. It's very similar to what Majorette used. Okay. It's got the little tail lamps painted on there. And if you flip on the bottom, you can see it right there. There's the H.J. Mulliner Park Ward. That's who does the coach work when they're taking a Silver Shadow, making it a two-door. There's the whiz wheels. That was like a sub model that Corgi had in their lineup. Made in Great Britain, of course. And this is a nice touch here, too. You know, one of the things that impressed me about this car when I disassembled the other one was I noticed that, like, for example, okay, the bumper and the grille surround, that was all made of metal. This rear bumper is also made of metal. And a lot of this car, there's a lot of pieces on this car that were actually riveted in place for durability. And it's a good thing I was, taking my time taking the other one apart, because otherwise I would have run into trouble. I could have broken some stuff. So there you go. That's the factory fresh one. And I think one time I said it came in a blister pack. That's actually incorrect. It came in a box. It was a box with one of those, like a clear window on it. So there's the factory fresh one. As you can see, it's a lovely shade of blue. All right, now let me show you the restored one. Excuse me there. Bumping you guys around a little bit. Okay, let's put this up here. Try to keep them in view. All right, so here's the restored one now, all right? Now, let's get this centered on here. It wants to roll away, as you can see. Okay, so there's the restored one. This one used to be that shade of blue there. You notice it's got a much, wow, look at that. It wants to, there it goes, guys. All right, okay, let's try and see if we can make that not happen again. That was ridiculous. Okay. This is how you know, see, it's going to do it again. You know what I'm going to do, guys? Hold on. Bear with me a second. I'm just going to turn the turntable off, okay? We don't need to have it on. You've already seen the other one that close. This one's basically the same car, just different color, okay? That way we won't have any more potential accidents, all right? Yeah, evidently these whiz wheels are very freewheeling. They really want to whiz, as you can see, okay? All right. Let's put that back on. That's a lot safer now. Okay. That's how you know you're not getting AI content, right? All right. So the restored one, much darker blue. I tried to get as close to the other shade as I could, and I failed. I just picked something out that looked good. To be honest with you, what the cap shows and what the color actually comes out onto the car is two different things. And I find that kind of irritating. That happens a lot of times with paint, I've been noticing. So you saw it when it was disassembled. This is the one here that actually has the little, the sticker on the dashboard that shows you like the gauges and the numerals and things like that. Everything's basically the same door panel, same vent windows, same flip seats and everything. Now you may be asking, why is only one door open? I'm going to tell you why. I noticed on this car when I was disassembling it, okay, on this side, this door rubs against this bodywork here, okay? And that was before the paint went on. So I knew after the paint went on, and let me tell you something, guys, there's like 3 coats of primer, 3 coats of color, and 3 coats of clear on this. So you're talking a pretty thick layer of paint is on this car, okay? If I open that door, it's going to tear the paint up. I already had to do a paint repair down here when I was putting the door in, because that's how I discovered I was having a problem, because I noticed that when I closed the door after I had it in position, it rubbed. And I said, ooh, that's not good. So for that, for the sake of preserving the paint job, we're going to keep this door closed. Okay, we're not going to open this one, because I know the minute I open it, I'm going to flake the paint, and I don't want to do that, okay? This car's already been through enough. Let's not put it through anymore, right? But everything else works good. That door, as you saw, opens. Trunk opens just like on the other one. Looks like I still have some flakes of paint in there. That's crazy. I should probably just take a Q-tip or something. And looks like I got some schmutz on my rear window in there. That's kind of not cool. I'll have to take a Q-tip after that too. But overall, yeah, the paint job turned out really nice. I like the fact that the clear coat came out nice and shiny like that. I even just gave it a light buffing. You see the hood there. Hood closes, no problem. This has, of course, the same jewel tail lamps. Now, you notice what I did. I wanted the extra mile on this one. I decided to paint some of those lights up front with the yellow. I did that with like a toothpick. It's very hard to do, especially with my eyes and my, hands that aren't as stable as they used to be. And then, of course, I touched up the tail lamps too, made them look good. A little bit brighter red than what's on the factory car. But overall, it came out pretty nice, the restored Rolls. I'm pretty pleased with it. I think you guys will be pleased with it too. This has the same chassis, of course. Everything's basically the same there. Same little suspension. And people say, how do you hold it together? I super glue it. After I drill the rivets out and then I put it back together, I super glue it. And it holds just fine. The car's not going to be played with and, messed around with my little tiny hands. So we don't have to worry about it coming apart. Like I say, it's just going to be displayed on the shelf along with its companion. That is the factory fresh one. So there you go. That's how that one turned out. And as I finish those other projects that are out in the garage, I'm going to show those off to you as well. I've got one of the Yachtman Rolls Royces is actually ready to go back together. I'm going to do that next, and then I got some other ones out there I got to finish up. I got some really pretty yellow paint for the station wagon, and I still need to track down some chocolate brown metallic for the classic caddy. And I got to also decide what color I'm going to paint that other Rolls Royce. I wanted to do it, like I said, in the pearlescent white, and that just didn't work out. So I'm going to have to come up with something else, all right? Well, in the meantime, guys, that's a tale of two Rolls Royces. That's what we'll call that video. And hope you all enjoyed that. We're going to keep the content coming. In the meantime, every one of you, God bless. Take care of each other. And we'll see you in the next video.